Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. This afternoon we'll have a look at geometry of 2D shapes, but instead of focusing on triangles, we will place the focus on quadrilaterals, and that includes all your shapes with four sides. That would be your rectangle, your parallelograms, your trapeziums, your squares, as well as your kites in this regard. I'm going to complete 4 questions for you today in different types of questions to ensure that you are able to answer the questions accordingly. Please be reminded that in certain aspects you need to know your properties of your shapes, and that is very important, as well as you need to also understand that quadrilaterals interior angles add up to 360 degrees in this regard. Okay, so our first question would be an easy question. In this case, the first question would state the following. It says that DEFG is a rectangle with an interior angle equal to x plus y. They then tell you to calculate the value of x if x is equal to y. So calculate the value of x if x is equal to y. Now the sketch that you'll get is a rectangle. It looks like this. Oh, it looks a bit skewed, but yeah. Then you'll have the following: D, E, F, and G. In this corner here, you'll have x plus y. Okay. So, if you look at this shape, you need to understand that the interior angles of a rectangle, each of them is equal to 90 degrees. So, in this case, if we say x plus y, it means that x plus y should be equal to 90 degrees. Okay. So, with regards to your statement and your reason, with regards to your statement, you're going to tell me that x plus y is equal to 90 degrees. And the reason for that is because the interior angles of a rectangle. Okay. Which then means that which is given to you, therefore, is x is equal to y. That was given to you in the question. So therefore, because x is equal to y, it then means that x is therefore equal to 45 degrees. So x and y together, if you add them together, they should give you the 90 degree angle over there. Okay, and that is how you solve this question given to you. Our next question with regards to the 2D shapes is the following. They tell you that PQRS is a parallelogram. PT equals TS, which is equal to RS, and then they tell you that TS is equal to 70 centimeters. So PT, so for the second question, PT is equal to TS, which is equal to SR, and then they tell you furthermore that TS is equal to 70 millimeters. Okay. They then tell you to calculate with reasons the lengths. So calculate the lengths of PQRS. So over here's the sketch. So they give you a parallelogram. Boom. Boom over there. There we go. There we go. And then they put a triangle in here. So they say P, Q, R, S, and then they put T over here. So the first thing that you now need to do is, and what you need to understand is that the first part of your question would always give you information. The second part of your question will always ask you what to do. So what they want of you. Now in this case, if you look at this, they tell you that PT, so PT over here, is equal to TS, which is equal to SR. Okay, And then they tell you that TS is equal to 70 millimeters. Okay, so they tell you that TS is equal to 70 millimeters. Now what they asked you is to calculate the length of PQRS. PQRS. So they're asking you to calculate the length of each of the sides of the parallelogram. Okay, so statement reason. First statement that you can make is that PT is equal to 70 centimeters, or rather millimeters. PT is equal to 70 millimeters. And your reason there would be that it's given. And it's given because they indicated there, because they told you in the question that these ones are equal to one another. Okay? Then the next statement, so now you know that this is also 70 millimeters. Then the next one that you can do is you can say that PS in this regard. So therefore, side PS, which is this whole side there, is equal to 140 millimeters. Okay? Therefore, if PS is 140 millimeters, then the opposite side of PS, which is QR, is also equal to 140 millimeters. And the reason for that is because they are opposite sides of a parallelogram. Opposite sides of a parallelogram. Okay. So this side, PS, is equal to side QR over there. Okay. So we've got this one. This is 140. That is obviously 140 if you put both of them together. Now you can continue to the two slanted sides. So there we can say that SR is equal to 70 millimeters. Your reason there would be given because it's indicated. All of them have the same markings. So if this one is 70 millimeters, then obviously the opposite side would also be 70 centimeters, which is PQ. So therefore PQ is equal to 70 millimeters. And that reason is because they are opposite sides of a parallelogram. Opposite sides of a parallelogram. Now what you need to understand is that you need to know your properties of your shapes. So for a parallelogram, let's quickly run through it. For a parallelogram, you need to know that they've got two pairs of opposite sides that are equal in length. They've got two pairs of opposite sides that are parallel to one another, as well as it's got two pairs of interior angles that are equal in size. So you need to know all of those specs with regards to your 2D shapes. Now guys, this question has been solved. You've got all the sides lengths. So let's move on to our next question. Our next question will be a trapezium. In the trapezium they tell you the following. So they tell you that it's trapezium, let me just do the number. So trapezium A, B, C and E, and then they say that AE is parallel to BC. They also tell you that angle E is equal to 70 degrees. Then with that, they give you sub-questions. So first question, they tell you to calculate the value of x. Calculate the value of x. For question B, they go further and they tell you to show that ABCD is a parallelogram, is a palm. And then the final question they ask you to show that side CD is equal to side CE in this case. Your sketch will look as follows. Then with regards to that, in this corner we've got 2x plus 10 degrees. Then we've got 4x minus 10 degrees. Then we've got 5x minus 40. 3x minus 20 degrees. We've got a y, and then we've got 70 degrees over there. Have a look at that question quickly, and then we'll see how it goes when we start calculating. Okay, so with regards to this question, obviously statement reason is the first thing that has to happen. Obviously you know that if you've been on this channel for quite some time. That's how we also teach learners that I teach in my classes. It just helps you to not forget to give a reason for each statement that you make. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase the whole sketch. I think I should redraw it. Or wait, if you could give me the opportunity, I'm going to move the board up a bit. And then I will work over here with your statement reason. So S and R, there we go, statement reason. So the first question asks you to calculate the value of x. Now, the first thing that you need to do is to identify where all the x's are. If you identify them, you'll see that A, B, C, D, which is the parallelogram in here. Well, obviously we do not know that it's a parallelogram here yet. We only know that it's a shape of 4 sides, because in the second question they ask you to prove that it's a parallelogram. Okay. So first of all, look here, A, B, C, D. Here's all your x's. There's only a y over here. So we don't care about this part of the sketch. We only worry about this part. So first of all, in order to calculate the value of x, we need to take all these angles and put them equal to 360 degrees. Okay. So we're going to say 2x plus 10 degrees plus 5x minus the 40 degrees plus 4x minus 10 degrees plus 3x minus 20 degrees, and that's all equal to 360. If it confuses you, I do apologize. It runs from left to right. It's because I've got limited space on my board. When you go and calculate for x, when you take all the constants over to the other side and you put all the x's on one side, remember to do your sign changes when you carry the signs over to the other side of the equal sign. You'll then at the end sit with 14x is equal to 420 degrees. You'll divide both sides by 14, and therefore you'll find that x is equal to 30 degrees. So now you've calculated for x. Your reason for putting everything equal to 360 degrees is that you worked with the interior angles of a quad. Now, quad is the short for quadrilateral. So quadrilateral, we usually just use the word quad. Okay. With regards to the next question, they've asked you now to prove. Remember that this is question A. Okay. In the next question, they ask you to show that ABC D is a parallelogram. Now, obviously, all of these have little expressions as angles. Okay. So to prove that it's a parallelogram, you need to do the following. You need to go and calculate each and every single angle that is given to you here. So angle A, let me just do this so that you know it's separate. So angle A is equal to 2x plus 10. If you substitute 30 into the x, you'll get 60 degrees plus 10 degrees, and that will give me 70 degrees at the end of the day. Okay, so this is 70 degrees because you've calculated it now. Okay, now I'm going to erase this. For angle B, it would be 4x minus 10 degrees. We take the 4, we substitute the 30 minus 10 degrees. 4 times 30 is 120 degrees minus 10, and that would give me 110 degrees. So this is 110 degrees. Okay, that's how we got the answer. Let's move on to C. For angle C, it is 3x minus 20 degrees. 3 times 30 minus 20, that would be 90 degrees minus 20 degrees. So C is equal to 70 degrees at the end of the day. Now you already need to start picking up something here, and this would be with regards to your properties of your parallelogram. So I'll show you now. Moving on to our final angle, which is D. It's equal to 5x minus 40. So 5 times 30 minus the 40. So this would be 150 degrees minus 40. Give me 110 degrees. So this one is 110 degrees. Okay. If you know your properties of your parallelograms, okay, if you know those properties, you would be able to pick up that opposite interior angles of a parallelogram are equal to one another. Okay, so we had to go and calculate all these angles in order to prove that ABCD is in fact a parallelogram. And yes, it is a parallelogram due to the fact, so therefore, because angle A is equal to angle C, which is equal to 70 degrees. Okay? As well as, therefore, angle B is equal to angle D, which is equal to 110 degrees. And because the opposite angles are equal, therefore we can say that, therefore, A, B, C, D is a palm meaning the abbreviation for parallelogram, and the fact that it's a parallelogram is due to the fact that the opposite sides, or rather opposite angles of a palm is equal. So the reason why it's a parallelogram is because the opposite angles are equal of a parallelogram. Okay, and there that question is solved. So we solved this one and we've solved that one already. Now they're asking you, show that CD is equal to CE. So CD is equal to CE. Okay, so the first thing that you need to pick up is the following. You need to go and calculate the angle for D to prove that CD and EC are equal to one another. Okay, so I'm going to just take away all of this and then I'll work at the bottom here. Okay, so for question C, the first thing that you need to do, I'm going to work over here. I'm going to try and do statement reason. So the first thing that you need to do is the following. You need to tell me that angle ADC is equal to 110 degrees. Okay, and the reason why you can say that is because it's proven. You proved it in the previous question. It's proven. And we're talking about this angle over here. Okay, ADC. Okay. Now the other thing is that because this is 110 degrees and this is a straight line with an arm moving out, sharing the common vertex or the same vertex, you can use adjacent supplementary angles to calculate for y. So y plus 110 is equal to 180 degrees. And your reason there would be adjacent supplementary angles. Adjacent supplementary angles. Okay. So y is therefore equal to 180 minus 110. So y at the end of the day is equal to 70 degrees. There we go. So y is 70 degrees. Then the other statement that you need to make is therefore that angle E is equal to 70 degrees, angle E, and that was given to you. So now I can go and make the conclusion. So therefore angle D, okay, or rather not angle D, angle, let me put it this way. Therefore angle E is equal to angle CDE. Because angle D is shared, you need to be specific in which part of the shape you are working with, okay? Now in this case, we're working with CDE, which makes the Y inclusive in this case, okay? So angle E is equal to angle CDE. And the reason for that is because both of them are 70 degrees. So both 70 degrees, okay? So therefore you can now say that angle, or rather side CD is equal to side CE. And that reason is because this becomes an isosceles triangle, and they would then be sides of opposite equal angles. And there you've solved your question C as well. Done and dusted. Okay. We've got one more question that we're going to look at, and then we are going to call it quits for this video. I assume that I have done some proper questions so far with regards to what has been discussed. So let's quickly look at our last video, and then, or rather our last question, not last video. Sorry, it's been a long day. And then we will conclude the video. So the final question is question number 4. So they tell you that ABCD is a rhombus, and then they tell you that EAD is equal to 5x minus 6, and ABD is equal to angle B1, which is then 2x plus 12. And then the question asks you to calculate the value of x and y. Then they give you this rhombus. So like this, comes through here. Then we've got this line coming all the way, and then closes like that. Okay. Then it becomes A, B, C, and D, and this is E. Then we've got a diagonal that comes through here. Then it becomes Y, 2 and 1, 2 and 1, and then we've got 2 and 1. And over here, they tell you that B1 is 2x plus 12. And they tell you that this one is 5x minus 6 degrees. Okay. Statement reason, always statement reason. Obviously, I write S and R. You must write out statement reason when you're completing this. Okay. First things first. They want you to calculate the value of x. So we're going to start with x, and once we're done with x, we're going to move to the y, that is angle C over there. Okay. So first of all, the first thing that you need to understand or realize is that side AB is equal to side AD. Okay. The properties of a rhombus tell you that all these sides are equal to one another in length. Okay. And then obviously the opposite angles are equal in size. Okay. And then the diagonals meet perpendicularly. Okay. With that, you can now tell me that AB is equal to AD due to the fact that they are adjacent sides of a rhombus. Okay, all sorted. Now, because these are adjacent sides of a rhombus, then obviously angle B1 and angle D1 should be equal to one another. Okay, so therefore angle B1 is equal to angle D1, okay, which is equal to 2x plus 12. And the reason why they are equal is obviously because they are angles of opposite equal sides. Now I can use, so now we've said that this 2x plus 12. Now I can use these two angles with the exterior angle, because if you close this, you can see that this is a triangle with an exterior angle over here. Okay? And these two angles are opposite angles. So the exterior angle is equal to the sum of the two opposite interior angles. Okay? Now I can use all of that to go and calculate the value of x. So I say 5x minus 6 equals 2x plus 12 plus 2x plus 12 degrees. Your reason there would obviously be exterior angle equals the sum of the opposite interior angles. Okay, all sorted. If I go and calculate all of this, I will find myself having 5x minus 6 degrees equals 4x plus 24 degrees, which will therefore then give me a value of x, which is equal to 30 degrees. So they are solved for x. The question asked me to calculate all the values of x. So therefore in this case, angle A1 is equal to 5x minus 6 degrees. So 5 times 30 minus 6. So 5 times 30 is 150 degrees. Minus 6 gives me 144 degrees. So this angle over here is 144 degrees. Okay. I'm just going to work over here. This is separate from the reason side. So I'm going to do the statement here quickly for angle A2 in this case. Angle A2 over here. So now angle A2 is therefore then equal to 36 degrees. And the way that you get angle A2 is simply by doing adjacent supplementary angles. Adjacent supplementary angles, because A1 plus A2 is equal to 180. You take the 144, subtract it from 180, and you then get 36 degrees with this regard. Okay. Then, moving on further. So this is now 36 degrees, okay? Using adjacent angles on a straight line. Now I need to calculate for angle C, which is Y. Okay? So, on that note, you need to know that the opposite angles of a rhombus are equal in size. So, therefore, angle C is equal to angle A2, which is equal to 36 degrees. Okay? And the reason for that is because the opposite angles of a rhombus are equal. So the opposite angles of a rhombus are equal in size. So if this is 36, then this should be 36 degrees. And there you've solved your whole question. You solved for x as well as you solved for y. Just before we end this video, I just want to let you know that when solving 2D shapes, you need to take everything into perspective that we've taught you. Meaning, you need to know your properties, property 1, 2, and 3. Remember, angles around the point, your vertically opposite, as well as your adjacent supplementary angles. You need to take into consideration parallel lines, which is your co-interior, your corresponding, as well as your alternate angles. As well as you need to take your properties of your triangles, property 1 and 2, which is the sum of the interior angles as well as the exterior angles, into consideration. Because you need all of those tools to be able to solve a question like this in your exams or in your homework or whatever you are busy with. You will utilize all of those questions or all of those properties. Okay. So guys, we are almost done with the syllabus for term 3. Then I will start the syllabus for term 4, and I will also do past papers for the cycle exams that are coming up now. I will probably do them on a live session, so I will let the kids know when it's up. And for those of you that are not being taught by myself, that are in other schools and so on, click the notification button so that you are informed, as well as subscribe to the channel so that you are informed when those live sessions will take place with regards to past paper discussions and so on and so forth. Thanks for tuning in. Please assist with getting everyone to join the channel, and then we will see you again on our next video. Until then, have a good day further. Bye bye.